Hey everybody, it's Nicole. I wanted to discuss some ways that we can make change and do things differently so we can thrive in our society, even if it seems like we don't have those options. One of the best tools that I have done, which is very simple, but it makes a lot of sense and it can be done at any point and it changes according to what, where you are in life. But I just draw a stick figure, and that's me on the paper. And then I make different size bubbles around it. So large, medium, small. And then without overthinking it, I fill in the bubbles according to how big of a problem the thing is that I'm going to put in the bubble. So, for instance, money is usually a big one. Different people in your life who may be negatively affecting you. Transportation, a job, school, exercise or eating healthy or things like that. So what we want to do is address the largest issues first. And once we get a path for that issue, we basically draw an X through that bubble, like popping it, crossing it out, and we move to the next ones. Many times, fixing one or two fixes a whole bunch of them. And then we're going to have different problems come up in different ways throughout, the months or years. And then you just add those bubbles back on. But if you really think about, and it's just a really good exercise to think about, what is the biggest problem affecting me and not allowing me to move forward or to get where I want to go. So let's just take a couple examples. So if you're a young person who maybe didn't graduate from high school, if you're still, I believe in most states, 20 to 21 years old, if you're that or under, you can register as a homeschool student, and I'll link the HSLDA website in my description, and that you can search any state in the country and it tells you the rules for homeschooling. So you can be enrolled in homeschooling and get your high school diploma through your homeschooling. Sometimes you can be in an association. Sometimes you can work in a co-op. I run an academic program out of my website, which I'll also link below. But you can find different ways in that scenario to graduate. Then what I would suggest is looking at your local community college. And I'm going to do a video on my laptop so you can see how to navigate the colleges. And we'll just take different cities. If you want to comment below, you can tell me like which things you want me to look at, like where you are and what your scenario is, so I can work on that. But the community colleges also have they have great programs for all different situations. They're one of our best resources that are government funded in our country. So they also allow you to start there before you finish high school. So you could potentially, like if you were going to enroll as a homeschool student, you could do dual enrollment if you apply to the community college, which most people get accepted there. You just take what's usually called the AccuPlacer, and it's just a placement test to see where you are in math and everything, and then they place you accordingly. But with that, you can finish your high school diploma and get started in college at the same time. That's really cool, and that's a great option. There's a lot of trade schools as options with community college. Lots of trades. There are things where you pay a small fee and you get to get a certificate in different areas, and different shortages across the country, like nursing and these kinds of things. They offer tons of help and scholarships and just a really clear path of moving forward with a career through the community college. And even if you just went to your local community college, sat down with an academic counselor and said, this is my situation. What can I do? What are my options? They will give you options. Like, it is almost guaranteed. You don't need to be ashamed. You don't need to feel like you're not good enough or you're not meant for that. Believe me, college is very different from high school. They want to keep you there. That's how they make their money. But they also care. People are there because they care about helping young people get to where they want to go in their life. Not just young people, everybody, but in general, it's younger people. If you are over 20 or 21, depending on your state, and you have not graduated, you can do a GED program. I know that's a pain, but again, the community college is a good resource and they can help you figure out where to get your GED. There's also other places that you can do that. And then you can pursue a trade or going to community college. When you start at a community college or a 2-year college, you can transfer to a university. And that's what I did. I didn't have the opportunity to go to college right out of high school. I was living on my own as a young person, and I was in a really expensive city, and I was working all the time. So it took me 6 years to go through community college. So by the time I was 24, I had a good GPA. I made sure I got as good a grades as possible, and I was able to transfer to UCLA. Now, transferring to a university from community college is almost like absolutely the best way to go if you want to get in somewhere good, but you didn't have like the ability or the grades or the opportunity when you were in high school. Things happen. So they love transfer students at universities. They love them because they're usually older. They typically have like their goals are, they're really determined to meet their goals. They're not just like going there because somebody forced them to go. You're going there because you want to, make your life better. And you only have 2 years left to finish once you go to university. University is a great place, and the community college as well, but university is a great place for you to meet all kinds of people, different professors that have worked in all over the world, different ideas, and it's really a beautiful space to grow. And just, you take a class and you're like, wow, I never thought of that. And then you go towards that direction. And believe me, with whatever you've gone through in your life, your skill of navigating that, especially with trauma and all sorts of difficult things that people have gone through, especially young people, that really benefits like picking the career that you want for your life or careers, and just pursuing the avenue that is comfortable for you. But, they call it grit now, but like being able to survive it and keep going, just the desire to make it better than what you were given. So that's an amazing strategy. It can work. If you do the homeschooling route, you get your high school diploma and you just go to community college. You still take the AccuPlacer because that shows them where your levels are. And if you score really low on math, it's fine. You just take the lower math class. It doesn't matter. You just work your way up, And with trades, like I said, you can do different trades. There's a lot of opportunities all over the country. So it's affordable. It's not super cheap. Some places, like when I went in California, it was really affordable. Here in South Carolina and in Tennessee, it's not affordable. But they do have different things. Like my son, he's going to be 15, and he's interested in computer programming and stuff like that. Well, they have certain courses, certain certificates, and different 2-year degree things that are like free if you go into them, because they are, the country needs more of those, and the government is giving incentives to the colleges for this. So your academic counselor is the best person to start with at community college. They are there to help you. They will help you, and you tell them what you want and how you need it to be, and they figure it out for you. The financial aid counselor is another great place, but you can do that after the academic counselor, and they will help you with all of that. Then you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for financial student aid. I'll go over that with you guys too, and I'll do something on my laptop to show you that. But either way, okay. So that's just like one example of what options there are if you feel like you're stuck, because you're not stuck. Okay. Another thing is, I know it seems a little bit like, oh yeah, easy for you to say, but you can leave. You can leave where you are. Like, if it is not a healthy space for you, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's too much baggage. You can leave. Now, there are like Southwest flights one way for like $69. Okay, a couple $100. I have moved over 30 times in my life. And yes, because I grew up in abuse and trauma, I just ran away all the time. But you know what? People like made fun of me, and they thought that it was like, oh, she's crazy. But it wasn't crazy. I started over because the other place was dragging me down. And I started over, and I didn't like move and then like not make it. I just went ahead with what was there, met new people, did new things. I mean, this is what like humans did throughout history, like, ancient human history. Like, we were nomads, so it's not so weird. And, there's like, oh, but I'm going to leave my family and all that stuff. Yeah. But like, imagine what you can do with your life and how you can help your family if they're worthy of that. You can help them have a better life and better opportunity and generational opportunities that are healthier generational opportunities. Now, I know when I said if they're worthy, yeah, if they're worthy. Sometimes our family members and our family is the worst part of our life. And it's okay to say that. It took me years of therapy to realize that I wasn't indebted to my parents. That, like, just because it's my mom doesn't mean that she could do the things to me that were hurtful, or my dad. So it doesn't make it okay. And our job is to try to be strong, healthy humans as adults, and also like raise our own families if we're going to do that, or just have successful like relationships in life. So by admitting what they've done to us and putting the blame back in their court, and I know people are like, oh, you just blame your parents. No. Like, there's things that they get blamed for if they knew better. I'm an adult. I'm 43. I have 4 children. I know what's right and wrong. I know if I do something wrong and like on purpose to harm my child, that's on me. That is not on the child. Like, my goal as a parent is to help my children be successful and happy, successful, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter to me like what that success is. It's success inside of them, how they're happy, and healthy. So healthy mentally, physically, in all those ways. So anyways, finding out which people are not good for you and just going no contact is a really great way. It's hard, but man, you become a different person when you realize that they are the ones that are really damaging you. And there's so much trauma in staying around people who have hurt you in the past, especially when they're your family. So leaving, I mean, really, it's not as scary as it seems. I have done it. I've lived in 5 states, and we've lived across country 3 times with our kids, and it's okay. It's okay. Everywhere you go, it's basically the same. You know, you start your life, you do the same things, and it doesn't have to be final. You can move again or do whatever is good for you. You know, that's okay. It's okay to do that. So really, like, living life for yourself is kind of a theme that I'm feeling with this conversation. And in that, you're only searching for the healthy things in your life. And I say healthy all the time because I used to get caught up in right and wrong. Our society says this is right and this is wrong. And my therapist says, no, is it healthy? Well, no, that person is not healthy for me, even if they are my parent. So, is it healthy for me? And it doesn't matter what other people think about how you should behave. We all carry our own trauma and our own things in our own way, and we have to try to take care of ourselves because we're the only ones who are going to do it. And so, whatever people say about it, it doesn't matter. It's you. It's what you feel. So just doing that and empowering yourself will help you make good decisions to move forward. And it's never too late, I promise. Like, even if you're in like a horrible situation and, you know, say you've been incarcerated and now you're a convicted felon and you're out and you're like, you know, the people that you come home to that were there possibly helping you get into the situation that you were in are not the people that you need in your life. They are not going to be the people that are healthy for you and who are going to shoot for your happiness and root for you to do the best things you can do with your life. Because a lot of those people are also stuck in that situation. And unfortunately, a lot of people are either jealous or don't want others to do better because then it makes them feel bad about themselves. So, like, almost always the worst thing you can do is go back to where you came from in that situation. The best thing you can do is to get out. And get out mentally, get out physically. So, and if you don't want to go the academic route, there's a lot of options too. You can start your own business, and there's a lot of people out there who are looking for people with lots of different skills and trades, especially. I say trade a lot, and I know that's like a kind of a stereotype with like, oh, you know, you got in trouble, you should go to trade school. But like, the trades pay really, really well, and our country really needs people in the trades. There's a ton of skills that people do not know how to do, like most of us don't know, which is a failure of our education system. We should be learning how to have just like life, like do life things, fix our cars, fix our houses, grow food, you know, stuff that's essential for us. We should learn how to do that. So the trades are a great space for lots of different situations. And a lot of times they'll pay you to go to the school if you commit to their job for a little while. You know, so you're talking like good money, $50 an hour or so, you know, that's great money. There's some options as far as where and how you live. So obviously living in the city is more expensive. There's some benefits sometimes with like transportation and stuff like that. But when I left California, I was on my own really young in high school, and my first little studio apartment in 1996 was $675 a month. That was a lot for a junior in high school, making, you know, $5 an hour. So then it just went up and up and up. And by the time I left when I was 27, 28 with my daughter, I was paying $3,600 a month. Okay. For a little like 1,000 square foot house. That's unsustainable. But I thought that's just the way things were, especially when you live in California. You're like working all the time, you're busy. You just don't really like think that there's other better options. Okay. So then I go north to Washington, and it's like $1,000. This is in 2008, mind you. It's not like this anymore. But it was like $1,000 for like a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment. And I was like, whoa. And so that's what I did with my daughter. She was only 1 year old. But then I move, to Tennessee. I go back to the Oregon coast. I come to South Carolina. In different ways, there's different levels of affordability. If there's any way that you can move on the outskirts of a more affordable space, you can get a little bit of land. Even a half an acre is like amazing. Even a 1/10 of an acre. People do incredible things as far as like intensive farming and stuff like that. But like food, water, shelter, right? Like that's the primal needs that we really have. And you can provide your own food. You can build your own shelter. And most of the time we can collect and be really frugal with our water. So there's a difference in lifestyle that you can lead and live, which will help you. And then you're not like tied to everything. You're not tied to harmful people. You're not tied to an unhealthy situation. You're not tied to a monetarily to a situation where you just can't get any space in your life or in your brain to like work on these things. So, you can pay cash for little pieces of land. I mean, start really small. It's okay. You never know what's going to happen. You can resell it. You can add on to it. Sometimes people around you will sell. And even us, like, they're just building like crazy around us. And there was an acre next to us. And I said, well, we didn't have any money. We had like nothing to put down or anything. And I asked the realtor if the lady who owns it would be willing to do a where she's the financer of it, and she said yes. So that's $221 a month for a few years to pay her at like, I believe it's 7% interest she's making. Owner finance is what it's called. I'm sorry. So that's what I pay for that land. And if you were and you can build your house on it, you can build your own house. And I will go through all this stuff with you. Like, we built our own house. We didn't know what we were doing. My husband is skilled. He has some skills, but he has never built a house before. But YouTube, I learned on YouTube, and you can learn everything on YouTube as well. So, I mean, when we had to do our electrical, I like had to learn how to do electrical. Like how do we do a box? Like how does that even work? So, you have the ability to do it. And especially if you've made it out of traumatic situations and you're still fighting, you can do all of this. None of it is rocket science. You can do it, and you can have a better life. I promise you that. So, let me know what you feel are some things you'd like me to work on and talk to you about, and I can gather resources, but I will leave those links for the HSLDA website for the homeschooling. I'll leave my website link below because I do run an academic program out of that, which means you would be homeschooled in your space, in your state, and I would be your teacher. And so, these are great conversations to have, necessary conversations to have. And I can help you look through all of these kinds of things. You know, these are things that I've done myself without a lot of support. So, okay, well, I'll let you go now, and I appreciate you being here. You have a good day.